we are going to make a few loaves of sourdough bread. Things that you will need is a kitchen scale. You can use cup measurements based off the recipe you're using, but I prefer using a kitchen scale and using grams. A big mixing bowl, bread flour of your choosing, room temperature filtered water, salt, and either a damp tea cloth or a bowl cover. You will also need a whisk, or you can just use your hands to combine the bread and the dough. And I have a rubber bench scraper that helps kind of scrape down the sides. Combine your water and your sourdough starter and mix that until it's kind of a milky white and combined. So I'm going to put in my water. Typically when you do this step, the sourdough will float, which is a good indication that it is ready to be baked with. Add a little bit more water. Mix it until all of it is combined and dissolved into the water. Usually a good indication is when I have all of these bubbles that you should be able to see. Let me adjust. Perfect. Next, I like to add my salt. This is not a must add at this moment. You can add it during stretch and folds, or you can add it after the flour, but this is when I prefer to add it. And then I will be adding my flour. Then I will use my whisk again and kind of start getting the flour mixed in with the water. Have a shaggy dough-like consistency. I want to make sure all of the flour is mixed in as much as I can. So I really start to kind of use the whisk and scrape the sides of the bowl. It's going to start to look like this and be stuck, so I start to peel it off of the whisk, and this is when I'm going to start to use my hands. I'm going to grab my rubber bench scraper and I'm just going to start scraping down the sides of the bowl. It's just going to help make sure that I've got all the flour, so you can kind of see that's really all I do. And then I kind of pick up the dough and fold it over a little bit and start scraping the bottom. Because I want to make sure all of this loose flour is in my dough. So then I'm going to kind of knead my dough a little bit. It's going to be slightly sticky, but we'll have a good amount of density to it as well. So this is usually what my dough will look like, and I am now going to put a bowl cover, or you can put a damp light tea cloth over top of it, and that is where you're gonna just let this sit for about an hour on the counter. We will come back in about an hour to start our first stretch and folds.